right, we are live. We are live. We are live. Welcome, beautiful people. Welcome to the show. This is part 2 of Pocket State of Mind. We did one about 2 weeks ago where we checked in on 5 quarterbacks. We got another one coming at you today where we're going to check in on 5 quarterbacks, and we're going to try to do this every week where we just check in on 5 different quarterbacks, 5 to 6 different quarterbacks throughout the NFL season. Just check in on them, how they're doing, how they're performing, how their performance is correlating with their team's success or lack thereof. And after all, it is the most important position in all of team sports. So it deserves to get this sort of attention, especially in this type of year where we talked about it on the dish. Shout out to the dish. We talked about it on the dish with baseball. Like, pitching matters more than ever right now. Well, the quarterback position is more relevant than it ever has been. And that's only growing with some of these capabilities of these quarterbacks. So we're just going to dive right into it. And of course, we're going to talk about that little game that they got going on later between the Broncos and the Jets. We'll touch on that. We'll, take a sample of that, one bite maybe, and, get you covered with that. But quarterbacks is what we're here to talk about right now. That's Germ So True, also known as Kyler Jeremy, and that's Vic Jr., also known as the Scout Extraordinaire. And we are about to get started. First on the agenda, as we know.
Say it right. It's Kyler Jeremy.
What'd I say?
Kyler Jeremy.
Kyler Jeremy.
Kyler Jeremy.
Big man, you need me slap you?
Are we letting the folks get in here first?
You didn't even give me a chance to warm up, dog. You just gonna throw that in my face off the top.
You threw it. You threw an alley-oop. I had to come through and dunk it.
I can't be mad at you. I can't be mad at you. For those of you who just want to know what the hell just happened, I tend to have a pretty strong island accent, but this is my broadcast voice. But the fellas, my brothers over here, they tend to hear my accent more than the public, and sometimes I say things that Germ uses as sound bites for the rest of the time. So it is officially 7:30, which means it is officially time for kickoff. We flipped a coin. Germ won. He deferred. We are going to kick it off to you, Mr. Vic Jr., as I hear my echo. I'm all discombobulated now because of Germ's comments. I just can't get because you know what? At least you got it out the way, so I don't have to sit the whole show wondering when you said it. So
I want him to do the one when on that video though. Do it, Germ. Do it.
What video?
Do it. The video when 2016
we have
Super
12. Bowl. We got 12. We got 12.
Yo, come on, man. Listen.
That shit is great, yo.
Oh man, it's hot in this hoodie now.
That video needs to. I'm saying it on public TV right now. That video needs to be shown.
That video will be shown. How about this? If that man hoists that Lombardi Trophy in Raymond James Stadium in February 2021, I will unleash the famous 28-3 video that only 4 people have seen. And those 4 people, actually 5. Those 5 people are Germ So True, Vic Jr., Tashawn Neal, shout out Tashawn, Myron Jenkins, shout out MJ, and Jay Ham, shout out the Godfather. But if Tom Brady hoists the Lombardi Trophy in February 2021, I will release the video of me being recorded when the Patriots came back down 28-3. All right, let's get started now. Let's really dive into it. Let's really get started. The first big quarterback news that came out this week, fellas, was during Sunday's game. Atlanta Falcons were down 2 possessions. They were driving. Mitch Trubisky throws an interception, and that's pretty much the end of the Mitch Trubisky era as we know it in Chicago. Moment of silence. That's enough. Matt Nagy said it was a gut feeling where he decided it was time to roll with Nick Foles, also known as Foles Gold, also known as the guy who played the 7 most perfect timing, most perfect quarters in all of quarterback history. And it ended up in the Lombardi Trophy. So Vic, we're going to start with you here on this one. Did you agree with the decision to go with Nick Foles over Mitch Trubisky moving forward?
I mean, listen, there was a stretch in that Detroit game, if I'm not mistaken, week 2, in which Trubisky brought them back and helped them win that game. But other than that, it just seems like that offense cannot be expanded with him. You guys correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like with Foles in the pocket now, they're able to kind of go deeper, more vertical routes and stuff like that. He seems more comfortable. When he was in Philly, it was a lot of those horizontal routes, run pass option routes and stuff like that. But it seems like on the last game, he was able to get some throws deeper and stuff like that. Unfortunately, man, they made that draft pick. It feels like it was literally yesterday when they did that pick. But nowadays in the NFL, the patience is for any position runs a lot thinner. You know what I'm saying? Now, even quarterback, they used to be that 3 or 4 years, 5 years where you give them a chance to develop. That window has shrunk a lot in the new NFL. And I think it has a lot to do with, they're being developed a lot faster now in college football. So German and I agreed, and even Mo, when he was part of that process, we agreed. We felt like he wasn't a top 10, even a first-round pick that season. So, unfortunately, they're paying for that now.
No, most certainly. And let's not forget the trade they did to move up one spot and put so much future assets into it. And they had that on the heels of, I can't remember which happened first, but they also had the Khalil Mack trade within that period as well. So they essentially gave up their entire future for Mitch Trubisky and Khalil Mack, and they're paying for it, and they're going to continue to pay for it. Jerm, your thoughts on this whole situation?
Get him out of there, man. It's just, it was never good. He was never good in general. Like I said, I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. It's another quarterback we need to get up out of here too. But I ain't gonna say his name right now because we're not talking about him this week. But anytime you get quarterbacks that throw for 97 yards, and they almost rush for the same amount of yards, it's about time to get them up out of here too. So with that being said, Mitch, go to Baltimore and see if you can run somebody else out of town. Next quarterback.
Shade.
Incredible.
Shade.
Nah, that
Shade.
is a tree. Sir, that's a tree.
Listen.
Sir, that's the whole tree.
Man. Dad, what's those shadowy things? Don't go there. That's what that means. But we're gonna leave it at that because I know for sure.
You must never go there, son.
All right. We're gonna get to that conversation at some point later, not tonight. But I agree with you, both of you, absolutely. The decision was made, and the best part, when you make a decision, you stick with it. He made the decision, and he's sticking with it. And it's time. It's time that they move on from Mitch. And having Nick Foles is not the worst thing in the world to go down to. And Nick is obviously not going to be the long-term answer. And I'm sure Chicago fans will find that out by December 27th. But moving forward, it certainly is going to make Chicago a little more intriguing and to see how those weapons get utilized now, especially Allen Robinson. Next quarterback on the list is, who did we say we got next? I don't know. I'm so disorganized. Y'all got to forgive me on this one. Okay. Next quarterback on the list, former first overall pick for the then St. Louis Rams. A few years in the league now. He's approaching that 6th, 7th, 8th year where we really start to see who are you. But for some guys on this line, they believe they already know exactly who Jared Goff is. What we do know about Goff is he's a guy who probably relies on play action more than any other quarterback in the league. As we're going to talk about some other guys on this list that really rely on play action, but nobody more than Jared Goff relies on play action for it to be efficient and to be successful. Jeremy, we're gonna move down to you on this one. What have you seen from Jared Goff? What's your thoughts on Jared Goff? Is he a finished product? Can we expect him to keep improving? What you got?
You made a comment there real quick. So you said that he relied on play action the most in the league. I'm gonna let you say that because the other guy that I was gonna say that relies on it more, he relies on just run action, just in general.
Sure.
So we're gonna let that be what that is.
Sure.
So
Sure.
there's another tree there. So call me Germ So Tree. So at the end of the day, what I want for people to understand about Jared Goff is Jared Goff is simply Sam Bradford with a step to the left or a step to the right. Meaning, once he's in the pocket, he's basically a statue. In the words of, for all my people who like grown-ups, he's an ass chew. So that means at the end of the day, he's either going to be on the turf, he's going to step up, he's going to make a throw, or he's going to get rattled of some sort, because once you hit Jared Goff twice, the rest of the game, he is going to be hearing voices like Randy Orton is coming out for WWE. It's just that simple.
Yes.
Jared is exceptional with the play action pass, especially when he's in rhythm. The only problem that I have with Jared Goff and that offense and Sean McVay is with West Coast principles, there is a lot of things with edge guys coming up the field, especially with some of those motions where the tight ends coming across the formation in the backfield and like an H-back like role. When that happens, and when we see that, the thing that I don't like is this is not like Russ or Pat Mahomes or those type of guys that are pretty athletic that can still pressure or can put pressure on the edge. And I say put pressure on the edge, meaning they can be able to beat a guy to the edge with their speed. Because as we just said, he's a statue. So we're talking about a guy coming off and already kind of being a little bit more stationary. So when he comes off, he's more susceptible to be hit. Those are the things that I see in that offense that can hinder him, because that is a staple in the West Coast system.
Sure.
That is a big thing that I do not like about it, but those are things that I see that I think that ultimately will hurt him come playoff time, because the regular season, as we know, what they're going to say is, I don't give a damn about who's coming across. We'll figure that out. Hit him every play. If you can hit him before he gets rid of that ball or hit him simultaneously, do it. That's just what I think you have to do to this guy. So I think Goff is who he is.
Yeah.
He has a good arm. He's intellectually a pretty good guy. He's just not athletic, and he's fragile, mentally fragile. Take those two things, and that's probably the reason why you don't have a Super Bowl winning team from 2018. Vic?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the nail, man, with the in terms of what type of quarterback he is. He is the traditional in the pocket quarterback. He's not going to extend plays. The notes that I gathered for him are very short in comparison to the other quarterbacks we're going to discuss here. But again, just, one of those guys that's not going to extend plays. The only way you see him, moving is when, again, play action, roll out, things like that. A lot of horizontal routes in this offense. A lot of guys crossing the field and stuff like that, which helps him out. He hits those guys in stride, which is a positive for that offense. But there's also another thing that I wrote down. Yeah, this is an offense that, again, a lot of horizontal short routes that they rely on what the receivers can do after the catch. So there is plays where, like you said, when a rusher is set free, he gets crushed. So they got to kind of be careful with those kind of plays when it comes to Jared Goff. There is some throws where he makes some clean, accurate throws outside the numbers, which are very key to quarterback play in the NFL. If you're able to use the whole field, but other than that, you don't see a lot of vertical. It just seems like they don't trust him with a lot of vertical throws, a lot of deep posts, a lot of fly routes up the middle of the field. So it's going to be interesting, because I feel like he definitely relies on a great pocket, great blocking up front, which it looks like they have so far this year. But when that starts to break down, when the defenses start to get stronger, is he going to have the pocket mobility to get around, to move in and out, kind of like how Brady and Breeze and guys like that have to make more plays? That's what's going to be interesting with Goff's career. And I think that's where he's limited.
I mean, listen,
can I say one thing?
Yeah, go ahead, Jeremy.
Real quick, too. Vic, you said something here that sparked something else for me to say. The most interesting thing here is, see, Goff's offensive line is not the same as it was the first year or two that we seen it when Todd Gurley had his good season.
Mhm.
So that year that Todd Gurley had a good season and the Rams had a very good season, that year the offensive line was one of the five or six best in football. They've steadily declined to a middle of the pack offensive line.
Right.
So that also is a testament to why Brandon Cooks was brought in one year and then shipped away the next year, because it says that they don't want to really focus on going down the field. Cooper Kupp doesn't beat people down the field. He beats you in the telephone booth. Same with Robert Woods and those type of things. So then you add guys like Josh Reynolds, who's another guy we can say that does the same thing. And then you add guys like Van Jefferson, who win in the telephone booth, and you see that the offensive line is not going to be at its best, but you do have the pieces that get open from doing those mesh concepts and things of that nature in the West Coast system. So I like this conversation and dialogue about him, because it really just shows that the West Coast principles are in bad form. It's just his lack of mobility on the edge that stops this offense from maybe being at its full potential.
I mean, listen, there's nothing I need to add. Literally, like that was pretty much everything that you need to know about Jared Goff. We'll see how much he gets better.
I'm sorry, Mo.
No, no. Let's move on.
And just to make it clear, not only mobility outside the pocket, but within the pocket. Again, sliding in and out.
Step to the left, step to the right.
If there's a right guard that's being pushed into him, can he step left? Can he extend plays, kind of like how Brady is able to maneuver in the pocket, and the more elite guy pocket passers.
Oh boy, there's some heat coming towards Jared Goff's way. Let's move on though. Let's move on. Next quarterback on the list. He was another number 1 overall pick. He's playing for a rising team, in my opinion, certainly in the guys' opinion as well. Although we do have our questions about that offensive line. But Kyler Murray, quarterback for the Arizona Cardinals. Here's a kid that when he was coming out of college, I didn't bang my gavel saying, yeah, I want him. But at the same time, I didn't say, no, I don't want him. He was one of those guys that was like, listen, there's a lot of potential there. I just got to wait and see how it translates. Like, there was no way for me I would have been bullshitting people if I was to sit there and say, oh yeah, I know he's going to be this. Oh, I know he's going to be trash. Nah, because as great as he was as a prospect, there was a lot of things that were question marks that in the scouting community were major red flags. And I'm sure Vic Jr. would nod his head on that statement. But for me, I had to go back and I had to watch just everything he did in the NFL. And just watching him these first few weeks of the season, while I do see some good things, there's a lot of things that I see that I don't like. For example, I don't like his ball separation. Literally, ball separation, simple. When you have both hands on the ball, and you take the one ball away from the one hand. I don't like his ball separation because, for one, it can be very low at times, and when it's low, that's going to lengthen your motion, and that's also going to take more time to get from your hands to the receiver's hands, which is ultimately where you want the football to end up. And then not only does he release it too early and not too low, he also releases it too early sometimes. So he's just sitting there patting the ball. And to me, that's probably a bad baseball habit that he's transitioning into the NFL. But in the NFL, that's going to lead to interceptions. In the NFL, that's going to lead to a half a second longer, which is a lifetime for an all-pro pass rusher to get in there and knock you right there under your chin strap. So those are some things that I need him to improve on. Another thing I need him to improve on is that patience in the pocket. We talk about it a lot of times. It is great to see these quarterbacks with this just superb athleticism, right? There's another quarterback we're going to talk about later that relies heavily on his physical talents, his physical abilities. Kyler is another one of those guys who relies heavily on his athletic abilities. But the problem is, don't laugh, Vic, we're going to talk about this. The problem is that it tends to be a little impatient in the pocket at times. And then also, maybe this is his height. There are times where he's just not seeing the whole field. he is capable of going through progressions, 1-2 check down. He's capable of doing that, but he's not always capable of one, let me bring my eyes here, let me see what else is going on. He's not always very capable of doing that. As a matter of fact, in that Detroit game, there was about 3 or 4 plays, especially to DeAndre Hopkins, whereas like had he been a little more patient or had he seen the field better, those would have been first downs, those would have been chain movers, and maybe given his team an opportunity to win. From what I saw in week 3 from Kyler losing to Detroit, he is now, because he was one of those guys that's like, can he win the MVP? He's now towards the bottom of the totem pole in realistic MVP conversations because of that game to Detroit. He threw 3 interceptions, and while one of them wasn't his fault, the other 2 were because of those things, that early ball separation, that tapping the ball, that bringing the ball from so low on to here. All those things led to some missed throws, some missed opportunities, and some interceptions for Detroit on Sunday. So we're gonna move it, bring it to Vic now. I know you said you haven't been able to really watch Kyler this year, but you watched him in college, you scouted obviously as well his entire rookie season. Where do you stand today on Kyler Murray?
So that there's ties with him and Baker and Cliff Kingsbury and that Mike Leach offense and stuff like that. That we have when it comes to that Oklahoma system. He had times it looks like he's just too comfortable in terms, and what I mean too comfortable is that he's too confident in his arm strength, too confident in his arm talent, that at times it seems like he puts that over the fundamentals, right? So you have situations where he's backing up, trying to make throws. Like you said, there's a lot of that ball tapping and stuff like that. There was even some throws that he's backing up and on his back leg, he tosses it up to DeAndre Hopkins and it falls perfectly, in line. But then there was throws where they fell short because he's thrown off of his back foot. Kyler, is a small quarterback. The Mike Leach offense, they believe in separating the offensive lines. There's a gap between the A-B gap, and what that does is separates the defensive line as well. So it gives them a passing lane. And so when you put that together along with the fact that he has Kingsbury now, his college coach, and the same offense he grew up in, he kind of has the edge in terms of probably becoming a better quarterback than Baker right now. But like you said, he does have to clean up a lot of things that, with terms of his decision-making and his fundamentals. It's so important to be consistent with your fundamentals. There's a time to make off-platform throws, and then there's a time where you need to be fundamentally sound and get some throws off. Because again, it's going to be about consistency.
For sure. Jerm, anything you want to add to this?
His college coach was Lincoln Riley, though. I don't know if Leach is a part of that as well, but I know Lincoln Riley was
Leach is the guy that is like the tree, the Leach,
Riley,
Kingsbury, and those guys.
Stoops and all those guys.
Yeah, my fault. I said Kingsbury, but that he's part of that Mike Leach offense.
Okay, got you. Cool.
I forgot the name, but
air raid.
The air raid offense, yes.
No, I'm with you. I'm just making sure that we tied it up just in case, because Stover would have had a heart attack. With that being said, at the end of the day, man, some of the things that he does, he makes up for it with great velocity. When I say great velocity, I mean you just don't expect that to come from a guy that small, So in my Germ Fossa voice, let me just speak to Kyler for 30 seconds here. Simba, you have forgotten me. You are my son and the one true king. I'm gonna need for you to get your SH together, bro. Because I'm so sick. I'm tired of these meaningless interceptions. It's like you got to throw 1 or 2 in order for the game to go on. We don't need that Jameis Winston type attitude in the quarterback.
Superhero attitude.
Yeah, I mean, you have the talent to make all of the throws, but we're making bad throws. When I say all the throws, we're talking good and bad. Mm-hmm. I don't like it. Fix it immediately. That's all I need to say.
Oh, fair. Let's move on to another quarterback now. America's team, Dak Prescott. He, on the other hand, unlike these guys, was a 4th-round pick. Wasn't highly scouted, although he was somebody who we knew and a lot of people didn't know coming into the draft, but he wasn't highly sought after. Obviously, you dropped to the 4th round as a quarterback. For whatever reason, there's certain question marks on you. For me, for Dak, my question marks with him, it's really just consistency. Like that's really my only issue with Dak Prescott. I think inconsistency with his feet, with his vision, with processing coverage, and just overall IQ. Sometimes his just the processing of the game is slow for him. But there's good everything. Like there's a good foundation. He's good with his dropbacks. He can go under center or in the gun. He doesn't rely on play action like these other guys that we've talked about. He can just do a natural drop back and it looks natural. He can throw out routes, deep curls, comebacks, and he can pretty much throw anything you want out there on the football field. He's got ball placement on certain throws, especially on those slants and those stab routes and those little hook routes. He's got really good ball placement on that. I just think at the end of the day, it's just about consistency for him. There's a foundation there for Dak that's better than, I would say, 80% of quarterbacks in the NFL. All it comes down to is consistency for him. That's it. Vic, let's start with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, bro, last year the Cowboys were 1-6 in terms of games being within a scoring reach at the end, right? Basically, if they would have scored on the last couple of drives, they would have made the game, they would have tied the game or they would have won the game. And it has a lot to do with again, Dak's consistency. I feel like he whether we want to call it overachieving or what, I think he's gotten better. Every year he has significantly gotten better.
Absolutely.
Velocity looks stronger. His accuracy is looking stronger. His ball placement, able to hit receivers in stride now. Those outside number throws that we think is very important for success.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, he's playing out his mind. I'm trying not to look at Jerm right now because he's such a negative Nancy. He's playing out his mind right now. That offensive line is beat up. Okay, ever since both him and Zeke's rookie year, that offensive line has regressed.
Mm-hmm.
Whether we want to admit it or not, they have regressed, and so many sources have confirmed that. So that at the end of that Seattle game, he was getting tortured, Jermaine. He was getting his ass whooped. He had to move around a lot. Okay, this kid is strong lower body. I mean, for him to even pull off that throw at the end was pretty impressive. Yes, it was an interception at the end of the game. But, I think right now it's Dak, it's Zeke, and everybody else kind of has to catch up. You know what I mean? Especially the offensive line. The coaching have been horrific. I feel like Jason Garrett is still on the sideline. I don't know what's going on there. But other than that, man, like Dak to me has gradually gotten better. And he's starting to show elite potential quarterback play. All right. So listen, I wasn't a Dak fan in the beginning. There's some things that he still needs to correct that Mo has touched on, but I think he's got top 5 upside.
Look, top 5 might be a bit of a stretch, but top 5 upside is an objective statement, whether Germ so angry likes it or not. Mr. You know what? Just whoever you are with the glasses and the hoodie, what you got to say on this?
Put that hoodie back on, man.
First and foremost, you put a hoodie on because I'm about to rain on your parade. First of all, let's just start at the top. I'm gonna make this real simple. I need 90 seconds. Dak. Decision making is still terrible. And it's still terrible in very, very important spots. Why is it terrible in certain spots? Because Dak still has one fundamental issue, and that's still he's having trouble processing information about the things that are going on in front of him sometimes. That's a problem at this stage. You have no reason for you to have all of this plethora of weapons, and we still are having issues with certain small fundamentals of understanding what's going on in front of you. You know what the strength of your team is now. Tyrone Smith, if he can't go this week, he'll be a week away. I understand he's important. I understand the offensive line is not good. We just seen Tom Brady with one offensive lineman for a season last year with the Patriots. One. So I don't want to hear, oh, the offensive line's bad. I don't want to hear that because we have to make do with what we have. If that's the case, is Amari Cooper not getting separation quickly? Is CeeDee Lamb not getting separation quickly?
To me, the rest of the team needs to catch up. To me, the rest of the team needs to catch up.
Are the receivers getting separation though, Vic?
Not as much as they should. Not as much as their talent says they should.
So and he's hitting them. Like in fairness, he's hitting them. He's hitting them in stride. He's hitting them with anticipation. I'll tell you this: his anticipation is better than Josh Allen, who we will leave for just a little bit while longer.
Oh, we about to. Oh, I knew we was gonna get here. So look. I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna wrap this up because I want to get there. So, because I really want to go here. So
no, we're still talking about that. We're still talking about that. You don't end the segment. You don't end the segment.
No, I'm
about to end the segment.
I'm about to end with that.
Okay.
So both of y'all relax. Big men, you want me to slap you both? Okay. So at the end of the day, I want y'all to understand this is not. No, if you say top 5 potential, I'll let you have that blasphemous statement. I don't really care. But Dak is still middle of the road, average Joe quarterbacking. That decision making is
that's harsh, dog.
Bro, I'm gonna be harsh.
Is he top 15?
Top 15 is middle of the road.
Is he better than Jimmy Garoppolo?
Ooh, yeah, he is. That's bad.
So is he better than Josh Allen? Yeah, he is.
No.
Yes, he is.
No.
Yes, he is. Yes,
no,
he is.
And like I said,
drinking that Buffalo Niagara Falls juice on me.
Listen, like I said before I started my part, they were 1-6 in close game situations, and that has a lot to do again with his consistency and his decision making.
Mm-hmm.
He's improving that quarters 1 through 3. He just needs to get there in quarter 4. Will he ever? We don't know. Remains to be seen. But I think he's been playing out his fucking mind, bro. Oh shit, we on live TV. My bad.
Well,
not safe for work.
Yeah.
Let's go. What else?
All right. Okay. Let's go there. Let's go there. Let's go there. Josh Allen, much to my chagrin, was labeled as the #1 views prospect coming out of the draft that year he came out. Now, look, I objected to it, but they convinced me because they said it was all about upside. I'm going to give it to you. I'll give you that. I will give you that. But I see a lot of flaws, a lot of holes, and a lot of things that I just don't really care for. So I'm going to say 2 things. I got a lot more to say, but I'm going to say 2 things, and then I'm going to pass it. And I sure as hell I'm going to pass it with a lot more conviction than Josh Allen on these stupid little touch throws that he all of a sudden discovered that float for about 3.9 seconds in the air.
Man.
Like I said, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to that. Because if you want to crown him, then you can crown him. But at the end of the day, he is who I thought he is, okay? I see somebody who relies solely on his physical abilities to maneuver in the pocket and extend plays solely on his physical abilities. And then on the flip side, I see a whole lot of mental lapses with Josh Allen, where sometimes it just looks like he's surrounded by a stampede because he probably went over that tree of Lamar shade that Jerm was throwing earlier, and he found a stampede of whatever the hell what it was that trampled Mufasa. So those are the 2 things that I truly dislike about it's the mental lapses. He's solely relying on his physical ability. And the third thing, until he's consistent, I ain't gonna buy no juice from Josh Allen because I still firmly believe he is not the guy to get you over the hump. Y'all can both get your hands out of your cabezos and let me hear what you got to say on this. Because I got, you know, when I start talking and my hands start moving, I got film somewhere nearby.
Don't nobody care about
Choose your next words carefully, Georgian.
Okay, so Vic, just relax. I got this. All right. So first, we just said that you said Dak was better than Josh, but Josh performs better in 2-minute situations and in fourth quarter situations. So the consistency can't be that bad, considering we just seen Josh take 2 games in the fourth quarter. So if we have mental lapses in the game, what do we call it when Dak does it? Because we just had Dak.
We're talking about Josh right now, though.
No. We're comparing because you started this comparison, sir.
Okay.
You did start this comparison.
Okay.
You said, and what you said out your mouth, sir. You said this. You said that you would take Dak over Josh.
I would.
And you would be losing. You would be 1-2 right now.
You know why?
You would be 1-2 right now, and I would be 3-0.
One thing that can't be disputed is that the special teams and defenses in Buffalo is much better than the special teams and defense in Dallas. Yes. And at the end, and that is a big reason why Buffalo wins and a big reason why Dallas loses. Because here we are now, it's been about 20 games, and Dak Prescott is, for the most part, he's had a couple of things here and there, but he's had some games where he's balled, just straight up balled. And doing it from the pocket and doing it with quick dropbacks and not needing all these play action and 35,000 bootlegs in one game just to complete a pass for 6 yards. Okay. And then I'm going to say this about that game against LA, bro. PSA to anybody who cares about LA Rams football or has any authority for LA Rams football. Keep Taylor Rapp the hell out of coverage. There was about 5 or 6 at least blown assignments by that Rams defense. Taylor Rapp was at the center of most of them, and the Bills, to their credit, took advantage of every single one. But what happened in the second half? 28-3 almost happened. Why? Because they tightened up. They played with more discipline. And if you want to beat Josh Allen, the blueprint to beat him is not more complicated than beating Lamar Jackson. If you want to beat Dak, there's a whole larger game plan that has to be put in place because he can do more things simply because he's better from the pocket.
Where?
I got film. I got stamps. I got stamps on top of stamps on top of stamps.
Listen, we owe a lot of film right now that we need to, because we need to throw these films out. Mm-hmm. There's the Pat Mahomes versus Russell Wilson. Now we got Dak versus Josh.
Yes. I mean, you said it wasn't a difference between Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson.
There's not much of a difference.
Oh. Whew.
There's not much of a difference.
Oh,
there's not much of a difference. I mean, again, listen to my words, listen to my words on this. If me as a defensive coordinator, if I'm preparing a game plan for Josh Allen, it's going to be very similar and as condensed as a game plan that I'm preparing for Lamar Jackson. If I'm game planning for Dak, there's a little more I got a game plan for.
Okay, watch this. This is real simple. How did you say that they used to have to beat New England, right? Was it a simple answer or was it a complex answer?
Simple. Cover one robber.
Okay. So if we're saying that it's a simple game plan, that means that you have to remember this. Common sense is not so common. So the things that you're asking for teams to do against Josh Allen, they're not going to do because there's not going to be discipline, because there's one thing that you cannot game plan for, and that is the fact of that he has an elite arm. Any game, he can win the game with his arm more than he can win it with his feet. He doesn't need.
You gonna call Josh Allen's arm elite?
Okay, name 5 arms better.
No.
Wait a minute. Are you saying his arm is elite because of how far he can throw it?
I'm talking about arm talent. Arm talent. I want you to tell me the better arm talent.
You want me to name 5 better arm talent
better arm talents
than Josh Allen? Aaron
5
Rodgers, Kyler Murray. I'm not even going in order. Aaron Rodgers, Kyler Murray. Shit, give me Kirk Cousins. Give me Russ.
Oh, okay, stop.
Give me. It's just the truth.
Stop.
Let me think. Give me Ben.
Bro, you could have said, if you would have just said Pat Mahomes, Russ, and Aaron Rodgers.
I'm not even mentioning Pat. I don't have to mention Pat.
No. But those are 3 that you can mention. The rest of those people that you're naming, you're naming because you don't like Josh Allen.
No, it's not that. It's not that. Don't do that. Don't do that. It is not that. It is just simply his consistency is not there. And I'm on record. I'm on record. He is not the guy that's gonna get you over the hump. Can he throw it 60 yards, 70 yards, 80 yards? Yeah, he can. But what does that do for me? I saw him just this Sunday throw a ball 80 yards off his back foot. Guess what happened? It hit the floor. What good is that?
I've seen the same thing. I've seen Russell Wilson throw it 25 yards off his back foot.
Listen, we're going to put you back in that corner, and we're going to keep throwing these hooks.
Man,
don't give me Russell Wilson.
Hey.
We're talking about Josh Allen right now.
We in the telephone booth then. We in the telephone booth.
Allen.
Big man want me to slap him.
I don't even know whose side to take in this right now, because I got shade coming from my top left here. I got shade coming from the top right, from the bottom right. I don't know where to take. But here are my notes that I got off just strictly the LA Rams game in week 3.
Okay, let me hear it. I want to hear this.
Progressions. Looks relaxed in the pocket while watching the field. Arm angles with velocity. Some good shit there. Accuracy and ball placement is he's still throwing some balls behind the receivers as they do their horizontal routes, crossers, mesh concepts, things like that, right? He is reading the zones a little bit better since his rookie year. Throws from the opposite hash on a short speed out, hit receiver in stride. Has improved since his college tape. Then he has a questionable throw in the 3rd quarter where he was rolling out to his left, was gonna get pancaked, and he just threw it up in the air and stuff like that. He does still have some questionable decision making where he's gonna put the ball in danger. Other than that, Mosif, I see a NFL passer. I do not see that in Lamar yet, but I see it in Josh. I think we have a more well-rounded quarterback here now.
Fair points.
It's in my MVP list with Russ and Dak, top 3 MVP right now.
And he's going to fall out of that MVP conversation by about mid-November. Right around the time you cutting your turkey and eating your mashed potatoes and your gravy and your stuffing, you're going to realize, damn, Josh Allen can't do this shit for 16 games. Everything you just said is accurate, okay? It does not change my stance one bit, nor does it take away from my stance. My stance being this, I'm going to repeat it. A, he relies solely on his physical abilities. B, there are enough mental lapses in the game that make me worry, and I see it every Sunday and more than once on Sundays, okay? 3, I need him to be this consistent for a while, for at least 16 games. 4, I still don't think he is a guy that's going to get you over the hump, because when the going gets tough and shit gets tight, he's going to buckle. Because game planning for him is more condensed than some of these other elite quarterbacks.
I don't disagree with you. Listen, he had the Jets, Dolphins, and the okay Rams defense in the first 3 weeks.
The very suspect Rams defense.
Yes. To me, again, the only thing is what I'm trying to say is German and I went at this for that rookie class, that quarterback class that had 5 quarterbacks in the first round. Mm-hmm. Okay. We went at it. I wanted Baker as our number 1 quarterback, and he insisted on Josh Allen, but I felt like Josh Allen was close enough to then I said, you know what, let's put him at 1. And I think he so far has lived up to what we felt he can be. And again, I see a NFL quarterback in this kid right now.
All right, listen, we're going to leave it there. We're going to leave it there because we went over the time limit. So we're going to just leave it there.
Damn.
Shout out to the comments.
Get the comments.
Yeah, shout out to the comments. KG in the building, apologizing for the TNF matchup. I honestly forgot that this is supposed to be a pregame show. So KG, no need to apologize, sir. Trav in the building, Jorge in the building, Jerry in the building, saying Murray has surprised him. Category 5, Mr. Justice in the building. Jorge talking shade at Vic as usual. Trav's gonna post these clips for years, yes, sir. Boy, the comments. These are way too many comments. But hey, shout out to y'all, especially Jorge, Trav, and Category 5 Storms. Just
now Jorge's trying to check everybody's language here, like. And then he said, "I said opposite."
Yeah, I listen. I said cabezos. I know that's not a thing. Jorge, I know that's not a thing.
Josh, it's Mosif with an F. For anybody that didn't know.
Yeah, first of all, you putting on me as Joseph.
For everybody that did not know, Mo's full name is Mosif with an F and not a PH.
That's not my full name. That's the nickname that you gave me. That's not my full name. Wait a minute. You supposed to be my dog. You supposed to be my boy. Wait a minute, Vic.
I thought it's Muhammad Mosif.
Okay, that's enough. You ain't gotta say it. I would just. Streets watching, son. Well, you ain't gotta say it. I just wanted to confirm if you knew what my actual name was. That's all. Listen, enough of this, okay? We're gonna get to the film. We're gonna get to the film on all this stuff. We promise you. We do promise you. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. Let's get to this games real quick. I don't know what the over-under is. I don't know what the spread is. All you need to know is the Broncos have about 35 injuries, and Blake Bortles is gonna start next week for them. And all you need to know about the Jets is they are the worst team in football. And Adam Gase is the worst coach in football. And Sam Darnold deserves better. Give me the Broncos 4-2. What? I'm taking the Broncos to win this game 4-2. 3 safeties. That's all that's going to happen in this game. I don't want to hear it.
Is Drew Lock hurt? He's still hurt?
Yes. They got Drew Lock hurt. Jeff Driscoll is hurt. Mark, I can't rip it to save my life ripping. He's getting in there tonight. They got Lindsey's out. Judy's battling the hamstring early. They got all these guys on defense out. I'm not gonna watch this game. I'm gonna put up a thread. I think I might. I'm not gonna watch this game. I'm gonna.
Are we still picking games for our competition thing?
Yes, we are. And I'm taking the Broncos. Don't mind my score, but I'm taking the Broncos.
I'm with the Broncos. I think it'll be 17-9.
Germ.
So the over under is 41.
Okay, thank you, Germ.
Yeah.
I'm gonna switch. I'm gonna take the Jets.
What?
Yeah, I'm gonna take the Jets. I don't know why. Just a hunch. Maybe a bad hunch.
Do we have to pick? If the Broncos lose this game, does that say more about the Broncos or does that say more about the Jets?
If the Jets lose this game, does that say more about the Broncos? Does that say more about the Jets? This is one of the worst matchups we have ever seen since we started Views. I'm not even joking.
Well, I think Driscoll is playing, I think, today because he's not on the injury report. All right, so Germ is so confused. So I just want y'all to understand that that the views and opinions of Germ So True do not necessarily represent Germ So True because this is Germ So Confused talking. Hopefully he can get the pick right. I'm so confused. I'm just gonna pick Denver because I just see less injuries on their report. The spread. I'm gonna go under, and I'm gonna go 10-3 or 10 to 9.5.
Yo, all right, listen, we glad you were here for this. We hope y'all enjoyed it. Good conversation, fellas. We will pick this up in the lab where we can see and show what we say. That's Germ So I don't even know anymore. That's Coco Santana. My name is classified until further notice. Views from the 22. Subscribe to the scene. Hey, okay. We stop live stream. Stop live stream. Stop live stream.
Yo.
We'll see y'all later, man.